came in the mail. And I need to show it all to somebody. Oh my god, what did I do? Oh my god, Beasley. Jeez. Beasley, you can't drink my tea. Beasley, I love you. Oh my goodness, I love you. Okay. Mommy has to do something. Okay. Beasley is squeaking toys. Okay. Now that I got Beasley's favorite toy away from him, which I will get back to him. Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to work out. This is so bad. Hey guys, it's Katie here, and this is episode 5 of the Katie Knits podcast. And right off the bat, you will notice a change in scenery. We are not in our normal podcasting position of my kitchen, dining room area. We are downstairs with Mustache. And that is because right after this episode, I am going to film a gigantic stash reorganization because I needed to do it. And I figured everybody likes to look at other people's stashes. I do. I am so guilty of this. I will sit for hours on YouTube and look at everybody's stash because it's crazy. So I figured you guys might like to come along and see how I organize my stash and see some of it. Copious amounts of yarn have been acquired and they need a home. So today is a little different. We're not going to do typical podcast format totally, but we're gonna get it done. So first acquisition, I'll show you my beautiful new mug. It even has a patterned bottom on it, which is so cool, but it's full, so I'm not gonna like dump it on myself. I'm gonna try not to anyway. This is from Kelly B Justice on Instagram. So pretty, and the inside's glazed too. It's just so pretty. I've wanted one of her mugs for a while, and she had an all mug update. So I set like 3 alarms on my phone. I was like, I'm totally ready. I am good to go. And I narrowed it down to 2. There was this one and like an orangey one. And I got cart jacked on the orangey one. So I was like, I rushed to check this one out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I got it, and I hope nothing like screwed up in the ordering process and they cancel it. But I got it. I love it. Highly recommend her mugs. They are gorgeous. So I will totally link her down below, and if you're lucky enough, go grab one for yourself. My voice totally is not the greatest today, and I do not know why, and this is really stupid. Probably the dumb weather. All it's been doing is raining and cold, and oh my gosh, it is crazy. And of course it rains and is a monsoon. We have Monster Jam tickets this weekend at Gillette, which is an open stadium, and it's like a 96% chance of rain. What in the heck is going on? So I have myself some organic. Oh, whoopsie doodle. Okay, I have myself some organic Earl Grey tea, and it's yummy. All right, I need to get into anything that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so John had come across some of his memorabilia that we have sent him underway or on deployments with, and he dug out, and this is only a few. It's not all of them, and there are a few that have gotten lost along the way over the years. But I used to knit him little hearts, these are flat hearts. And it was typically out of whatever project I was working with at the time. And he could keep them in his pocket. And it was sort of a way for him to remember, me and home, and the copious amounts of yarn that were waiting for him at home that he didn't know about. And I'm trying to joke around here because I'm trying not to get choked up because, anybody who has gone through deployments and underways and supporting somebody in the military for so many years, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. So anyway, I wanted to come up with something that was small, that was portable, that was quick and easy. So every time he'd be going out to sea or he'd be going out on deployment, I would knit one of these hearts from a project that I was currently working on or just finished. And they only take like maybe a half hour to make. I did look up the pattern and it is discontinued. I do not know when it got discontinued, but it is discontinued. I originally used the, it was called Love Stitches by Mary Krozik, and it is, unfortunately, like I just said 8,000 times, it is discontinued. I know I have a copy of this printed, and I will find it. It's probably in the shelf right here, and I will translate it the best I can. So I am going to try to write this up and get it published. It'll just be a free pattern in the next couple of weeks. So that was a huge pivot for me this morning when I looked that up. I was like, oh my gosh, it's discontinued. Crap. But this is a great idea for anybody who, they don't have to be in the military, they don't have to be going out to sea or deployed or anything like that. But it is a great idea for them too. Your kid's going off to college. Hey, knit like a whole crap ton of them and hide them in all their stuff. And then they just randomly find little knit hearts from mom. Or if you're their aunt or grandma or you're just close to them, I think it would be fun too. But it didn't matter if they got washed. There were a couple that got lost along the way. It is something small, takes very little yarn, and it's a way for your loved one or a friend or whoever to sort of remember you when they can't be with you. So that being said, I will get the pattern written up for these. I have to find it. I have to find, or I will deconstruct something. I never even went over this. This is Tuesday, April 8th, and I have no idea when you're going to be seeing this. No clue. But today for me, it's Tuesday, April 8th. And, oh my goodness, April 8th. Handmaid's Tale comes back tonight. Crazy. And then next week, oh my gosh, You comes back. And 1,000 Pound Sisters comes back. And then the week after that, Sister Wives comes back. Oh my goodness, so much TV. But when I say all that TV, I also think knitting time. I have my trusty Maika bag here. I know I covered it in my last episode, but I just love it so much. This sucker is huge, but it doesn't look big right now. And I love that the most. So, I have been plugging along on my Granite State Fibers shawl. It's going to go this way, so I don't know why I don't just show it to you the way it's going to be orientated. And down here on this little tip, there will eventually be a dirty tassel, which you can find on my Beautifully Broken shawl. And I will have a video out soon for it. Just haven't gotten around to filming that one yet. And you will notice, side note, I have released several instructional videos in the last couple days, and I do have another one that I have to edit. So if there is something that you would like to see, or even see just how I do it, let me know. Drop me a note in the comments, send me a message, and see what we can muster up. So, anyway, back to business. This is my Granite State Fibers dip, and this is just using 2 colors, and it's a simple slip stitch pattern. And of course, my cute little snail from Kelsey, Littlest Charm Company. So this one is done in more traditional colors. They're pretty. They are, everyday. Well, Lauren had posted this outstanding neon rainbow. And I am not one for neon. I am not a neon fan, and I'm not traditionally a rainbow fan, which is crazy because if you missed it last week, next year's Mystery Knit Along, the theme is rainbows and unicorns. So it's, totally not me, but it's adorable. And I really like how the design is coming along. But anyway, Lauren, Granite State Fibers, posted this rainbow neon colorway. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, I don't like these colors normally, but I love it. And I kept thinking about this pattern, and then an idea that came about. So this is Rainbow Road. It is so pretty. It is so neon. It really, truly is. But I had an idea. And she had a coordinating mini. It was initially a sock set. And I'm like, hey, could you do... It's already got dog hair on it. I'm like, hey, could you dye me up a whole skein of the mini? So, so she dyed me up one of these two. This is I've Been Inked. And this is Rainbow Road. So these are just crazy, bright, beautiful colors. And my crazy idea is to do a second version to go along with this pattern, because why not give you two options? That you will get a shawl, and then I had a cowl idea. Now, I don't love traditional tube cowls. I have trouble, styling them, and I don't think they look very well on me. So, I particularly like a shawl-shaped cowl. Now, bandana cowls are super fun to process knit, but I think they're very fiddly, and I have heard that from a lot of people, that they're very fiddly to wear. So what I'm going to do with this puppy is we're going to do a shawl-shaped cowl, everything held double. This will be our background. This will be our main color. I am going to wind this into 2 balls and pull it from opposite starting points, so there will be 0 pooling. My fear, and I have no problem with pooling, but with a shawl-shaped cowl, you're going to be starting in the center, and then you're going to work out basically until you can join, and then join. So they're going to be shorter rows and then longer rows. Shorter rows will lead to pooling. Longer rows won't so much. So to avoid that completely, and to give us a total rainbow across the entire piece, dark tonal background, and then pop holy cow colors on top. Yeah, I think it's just going to be awesome. So that's my plans. Now, I got a lot of yarn in the mail the last couple days. I am going to show you everything that's come since the last time we talked. And buckle up, because it's a lot. I did purchase my Advent. A couple weeks ago on Instagram, I had posted that, what are you buying? What do you plan to buy? What's out there? I really wanted to use someone that I didn't have very much of their yarn or any at all. I got several ideas for Ruby and Roses, and I waited too long, and they're sold out now. But... so Kelsey had posted she made charms for Oakwood's Advent, and I started looking through their yarn and the mood boards for this year and their plans, and I loved it. It hit the base she was dyeing on, everything just hit all the right notes. My idea was, and this is what I did, I purchased 2 Advents, and I did quick math. And I purchased 4 extra main skeins. Each Advent comes with 1, and I got 4 extra. I'm making a blanket. I'm holding everything double, by the way, and making a couch blanket. We are redoing our downstairs and living room area, so I figured this is the perfect time to actually make something usable. And I am one of those psycho people who has a mitered square blanket. Oh my gosh. I will have to bring it out at some point and show you guys, but I've been working on it for like 10 years. And initially I was going to do the little squares blanket. And John's like, hey, designer lady, why don't you design one? Like, this is your perfect opportunity. You've never designed a blanket before. Oh my gosh. So I kind of am designing a blanket. You could easily use it with remnants or leftovers or minis, but I am designing it to use with my Advent. So I sketched everything out already. It's at that point, and it's pretty cool. I'm probably gonna pull out some remnants and extras, and maybe knit a couple squares, and just to nail that down. So when the advent does come and I start opening, I can actually just start knitting. I think it's gonna be really, really cool, and I can't wait to try their yarn. And the fact that Kelsey designed charms for it too, it's even cooler. So I am so happy. So Oakwood was my choice for my advents this year. And I also did pick up the sock set from Suburban Stitcher. She was doing like a gray fade, and she offered a ton, and I don't know if she still has them available, but she offered a ton of options. And one of them was a sock set. It was gray fade with pop, and you picked your pop color. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I grabbed that. So I have two kind of advent-y things coming so far. Oh, I didn't tell you guys. It's kind of a ridiculous point to tell you before I show you the the pile of yarn sitting here. Guess who's finally going to Reinbeck? That's right, your girl here. A time we lived on the other side of the country in Washington State, and then we lived in Virginia and didn't go to Maryland Sheep and Wool just for one reason or another. And the couple times that we had planned to go up here, the kids were sick, or I was sick, or John was deployed, or just something happened. And John's been pushing me and pushing me. And I do have a bit of like social anxiety that has, kind of pushed me away from that setting. But he's pushed me, and we're going. I booked an Airbnb, super cool place. And so the doggies are going, and we are going to definitely do cake and indie on Friday, and we will be at Reinbeck all day Saturday until they kick us out probably. And then we'll be coming home early Sunday morning so John can get ready for work the next day and all that. But we're going, and I am going to film it all and be completely transparent with it all, how much everything cost and exactly what we did and bought. So that's something to look forward to. I do have a short list. Spam me with your tips, tricks. Who is your must go-tos for Reinbeck? So Lemonade Shop did put up this amazing colorway last week called Revolt. After all the tariff garbage and just basically everything that's going on with our government. It was so cool. I was like debating. I was like, I need to get this. What am I going to get? It wasn't a question of if I was going to get it. It was, what am I going to get? So the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, I need a sweater quantity in this. I just do. And she included with all purchases, I think over $50, so I can't remember exactly what it says. I'm going to put it up for you guys to see. But it was something like stand up against the dumbassery. Something like that. Dumbassery was the last word. I love the message behind it, and I love the colorway. All right. Now that I've told you I am about to go spend like a ridiculous amount of money on more yarn, I'm going to show you what's come in the mail in the past week. And I already showed you the Granite State Fibers Rainbow Road. And she still does have that available for pre-order on her site. I think I'm going to start with my Lemonade Shop order because it's the smallest. So I think I can get through that the quickest. And then with my Hue Loco order, I do have a little Katie pro tip for you because don't be like Katie in this situation. So I love Lemonade Shop yarn. I love her. I think she has a great message behind her yarn. Don't have a lot of it. I just have a few single skeins in here somewhere. And something that is in a hole in my stash definitely are heavier weights. So I'm trying to focus on heavier weights. If you've noticed, several of my purchases this year have been heavier weights. I could not get this little grouping out of my head once I saw it. Picked up two skeins in this beautiful colorway. It is called Sprinkles of snarkiness. Love the name. And this is Classic DK. I have 2 of these. I don't necessarily have like an exact sketched out plan for these guys, but I have something floating around in my head, and it is big and chunky. And so I got those 2. And then I got 2 skeins of Grouch. It's this beautiful like olive military style green. And again, this is in DK. Then I wanted a pop. Wanted something that I could just go boop and pop in there and pull it all together. So I picked up a skein of salmon. And this is, I think the color is showing up a little darker on the camera than it is in real life. I thought that these guys just looked so fabulous together. My plans are for a big, gigantic, chunky something with these. These are from the Lemonade Shop. Here's to my Katie pro tip. Whenever you are purchasing yarn, and especially if this is a pre-order, don't go balls to the wall excited. Place your order until you check your quantities and your bases. Check everything. I was drawn to the Hue Loco Rain or Shine Your Mine collection. And I mean, how awesome is the name? But then the colorways that they were teasing were just, I just loved them. And this one colorway in particular, it is this like greeny, like citrusy, like I don't even know how to describe it. I loved it. So I had no idea what I was going to do with it. But I'm like, okay, I really want this colorway. And this is a collection, so it's going to be gone. So I decided on 3 bases. Merino sock, and then this is mohair, and then a DK. And I'm like, well, a respectable amount is 2 each. Gives me something to work with. It came in the mail, and they had all of this colorway, which is called Wonder, by the way, in case you were wondering what crazy colorway I'm talking about, which I'll show you in a minute. They had them all together in one bag, and there were 5 skeins, and I'm like, what the heck? I counted 2 sock, 2 mohair, and 1 DK. Pulled up the order in the package, 1 DK. Pulled up my emails, 1 DK. Katie screwed up her order and did not realize it until it came in the mail. So I have 1 lone skein of DK, which is fine. It's going to be amazing for color work. And immediately Elizabeth's like, well, you can just use it with another one that came in that same package. And I'm like, I very well could. So this, my friends, is the colorway Wonder. Here's my 1 lone DK. But this is from Hue Loco's Rain or Shine Your Mine collection. And I can't even begin to describe this colorway. Just drop that. It is tonal. It's not super solid. Then I got it on fluffy mohair. Super fun. But this colorway is what drew me to the collection. So I got that. And Katie pro tip, check your quantities. Especially if it's a pre-order. I had plenty of time to go and fix this. Also, from the Rain or Shine Your Mine collection, I picked up, this is called Downpour. And it's this beautiful, lovely blue with some greens in it. And I picked up 2 skeins of DK and 2 skeins of mohair. My plan is to hold them together to make something. I just love it. When I first started buying yarn, hand-dyed yarn, I purchased the most variegated, crazy colors I possibly could. Not having any idea what I was going to knit with them or how they would look knit up. So over the years, I found myself, anytime I was going to knit a project or create a design, I had to purchase yarn for it because I didn't have any that would actually look good worked up. Probably destashed probably about 75% of my original purchases in the first, I want to say 5 to 7 years of designing and knitting. So I feel like I transitioned into a solid only category, and I'm getting this colorway was sort of bringing me back into my original days. And it's not super variegated, but being held with the mohair, I think it's really going to be pretty. So, but that's a little background on my previous yarn buying habits. Also, at the same time they had that collection up. Anytime Hue Loco shares their new colorways, they will always pair them with in-stock, dyed-to-order colorways. To give you an idea, maybe some other minis you could use or some other things that you could pair with it. And they put up a mini set. This is all from their in-stock, dyed-to-order colors. I couldn't get it out of my head. I screenshotted it and I was like, I kept going back to it. And I don't have necessarily an idea or a design in mind for this. So this is the mini set that they had posted. And I don't remember the exact color that they had put these with, but this is lapis, cerulean, agave, caper, chartreuse, squash, nectarine, jewel, vineyard, and sangria. It's not necessarily a grouping that I feel you would traditionally make on your own. And I'm like, okay, what are they going to go with? Now, as a designer, kind of a frustration is you can't always use the colors you would like in designs. You have to use something that is neutral enough or gives a backdrop for others who wish to purchase the pattern and actually knit it to envision their colors in. I find when you're using minis or using multiple colors, you have to use a neutral background. It's frustrating me because I don't want to do that all the time. So to go with these guys, I decided on elm, that it paired well. I thought these guys, super awkward. I thought these guys worked really well together. And I really liked the green as a backdrop instead of your traditional browns or grays or whites or blacks. I just kind of wanted to get away from that. I wanted to do something sort of against the norm. So this beautiful batch of minis paired with this solid. They are all in stock colorways on Hue Loco's website. So I got those and I'm really excited to try to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And this is one of the reasons why I need to reorganize my stash. So another collection is their succulents collection. I saw one, drew me in. I picked up 2 skeins of terrarium. This is super pretty. It's got this splash of purple is kind of what drew me to it, because initially in some parts of it, depending on where you're looking in the skein, it doesn't look like there's too much variegation. But then there's these purple pops, and on this one it's down here. And am I going to pair them with an agave and nectarine to pair with it? Didn't necessarily want to go with a purple because there was purple directly in here, and I really didn't want to be super tonal. But I thought this worked really, really well. Merino sock, and I thought they went very well together. The last little bit from my order that I have to show you, they have a sweet tooth collection. They put up this macaron mini set. And this is so not my colors, but I felt the need to get it. I picked it up on DK, and then I picked up 3 skeins of Snowshoe, which I thought paired perfectly as a very neutral backdrop. I don't use white enough or creams, and I figured these super bright colors really needed a basic backdrop to shine on. And I figured 3 full skeins plus the minis will very easily get me an entire set. So I'm aiming for a cowl, hat, and mitts collection out of these. Macaron mini set and Snowshoe. So with that, I will leave you as I sip my tea. Keep a lookout for new instructional videos. Like I said before, if there is any tips or tricks, or you want to just see how I do something, let me know and I will get that done. Full of yarn balls. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I need to go get organizing my stash. Be sure to check out everybody I mentioned below. Drop me a comment for your Reinbeck tips, tricks, must-go sees. What's on the top of your list? And I will be back soon with a new episode. So, happy knitting, everybody!